I have a romantic relationship with our next speaker as well. Just so you guys don't know about some few things about Jonathan Whitman. He's an avid fan of Starsky and Hutch, all DVD collections, semi-professional whale watcher despite his fear of the ocean. He actually was a two-time All-American league bowling champion. Left-handed. Recently gave up a semi-professional career as an underwater basket weaver to begin his hot air balloon trip around Central Texas. Seriously though, over the course of summer, Whitman launched 300 recruits, maintained a 2250 PPR all summer. My roommate, Starsky and my Hutch, Jonathan Whitman. I know, right? That's like my biggest fear before I speak in front of a group is the tripping aspect. You guys know what I'm talking about? Some of you do? Some of you probably trip, so you really do. You're that guy. So, I'm bringing the goods, productivity power. A lot of practice stepping up on stage. Obviously, Ben mentioned our stats, 2250 PPR. We launched 319 people. Just to give you an idea of some other managers around the nation, actually, that have done similar results. Obviously, Mike Nero, who hopefully you all know who that is, 287 recruits, 3692 PPR. Not bad. Brandon Benning, 295 recruits, 2971 PPR. Chanda, 2000 PPR with 292 recruits. Carl Gedges, 254 recruits, 2600 PPR. Rich Plaskin, 379 recruits, 2300 PPR. It's pretty sick, right? Every time you launch somebody, it's just like they sell $3 grand, at least. Mike Casetta, 258 recruits, 2300 PPR. And Charles, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'll do my best. Urusha? Thank you, Weston. 346 recruits, 2161 PPR. So, first and foremost, like, as far as productivity goes, there's a common misconception that I've heard, which is that, if you want good PPR, it's really hard to do if you have a lot of recruits. I think it's the total opposite. I think, if anything, if you want good PPR, go recruit a ton of people. Because the more people you recruit, the more culture you develop in your office. The more culture you have in your office, the more retention you have in your office. The more retention you have in your office, the more people sell long term. Does that make sense? You know, when I was a new manager, I remember I was like, I think my first DM summer, 05, I was like, I recruited 92 people, but I had 2439 PPR. As if I were someone to take pride in. That is not something to take pride in. Okay? So, keeps your office more reps, more competition, larger development pool, more people to create stronger culture, like I mentioned. So, I'm really going to touch on 5 things, and my heavy focus is going to be on fast start PPR. So, the first thing is fast start culture and focus. Fast start culture and focus. Under that, you got to understand your objectives, and we'll start from the training seminar. You got to understand your objectives in training. The first thing would be to build confidence in the programs that we have. Okay? Essentially, guys, we are there to teach them the easiest way to be successful. Does that make sense? So they've got to be confident in that. You know, like what you're going to teach them is gold. You know, and guys, we've been doing this for 60 years. We know what we're doing. You know, you got to have that mentality. You got to understand that's the objective. Not like, well, sometimes, like in training, sometimes this works. No. Hey guys, this is what works. See this manual thing? See the product? See your smile? Bam. It's gold. That's it. So, under that also is building confidence in Cutco. I remember going to like 07, 08. I was like, yeah, Cutco's great. But let me tell you about the money and this and that. Now I'm like a Cutco crackhead in my office. Alright, like literally, I'm constantly polishing products, and constantly. In an interview, in training, and they're just like looking at me, and sometimes every once in a while you get that cocky rep up front that's like, you like those knives, don't you? Yeah? Freaking awesome, I want to make sure I keep myself in good condition. And they're like, okay. And, you know, I'll notice my reps now, like polishing randomly. I'm like, okay, whatever. You gotta look at the product, it's gotta be both verbal and non-verbal. Like your display in your office, I think is very, very big. Unfortunately in the summer, my office isn't too big, so I can't really have display. So, like, but when we do, it's all out. Everything is out there, it's set up perfectly. And my ERAs, because they're the ones who set it up, because I just don't want to do it, because it's at times more than, I feel like I'm worth more than setting up some knives. But like, they'll like take pictures on their cell phones, and I'll see them setting it up like, You know, like, I'll walk up, anything's messed up, I'm like, why is the red felt wrinkle? That's already done. So, you gotta care for the product, and it's just the underlying tone. Read, cut, smile. It's that simple. Read, cut, smile. As far as fast start, obviously we know we gotta promote it, create excitement. You know, this isn't done just in training, and even more so, I'm not gonna even talk about like, oh, I have your stuff on the wall and this and that. That's obviously important. But through you, but also your assistant staff. You know, your assistant staff needs to know that they should be promoting this stuff all the time. You know, when they talk to a new rep, hey, oh, so when did you start? If they don't know who that is yet, oh, 6 days ago. Oh, how are you doing your fast start? Right away, first question. It's got to be a constant promotion. You know, not just with the kid you're trying to do 10K, but everywhere. You know, it's free product. The more, and then also it's going to help with the PPR. The more product they have, the more quickly they sell, the higher their average order, the longer they stick around, the higher the PPR. Through stop buys, when you're introducing people. You know, what's really great is I feel like the only people who ever stop by my office in training without me calling them and asking them is usually people that did really well on their fast start. So it's great. It's like, hey, this is Michael Duramo. Yeah, actually, in his first 10 days, in his fast start, he made about $2,000 plus or minus $1. And, you know, pretty exciting stuff. And bam, that's the first introduction. Then you go to the rest of the intro. Same thing with Justin Crow, Cody Cook. Every single fast starter, I'm making sure they're there. If they don't show up like on day one, they're a phone call I'm doing that night. Bam, stop buys. Next thing, and Ryan touched on this briefly, is launching everybody into activity. You know, it's just pointless to have somebody come in there with like one MAC demo for the weekend. If you ask me, like, yeah, you can launch them, $25, exciting. What happens after their first weekend? If they couldn't get their demos Friday night, and you were okay with that, do you think they're going to start doing tons and tons of demos all of a sudden? No, they obviously missed something. Something in their brain, the synapses did not connect. You know? So Saturday morning, yeah, one demo, okay, cool, good start, whatever. You know, let's get you on the phone while everybody else is cutting rope or whatever it is, you know? Making sure they have demos and that they're going into activity. If they start, you know, and I made this mistake just 2 weeks ago. This girl, don't have her name, she had 0 demos. She's like, oh, I got busy with some stuff and things. You know, really, you're just afraid of the phone, man up or woman up or whatever. So then she ended up doing 1 demo that weekend with some like friend of hers who's 22. I think he was a drug dealer. She's like, he's got money. He's only 22, not married. But he's got a lot of money. Okay. Go for it, I guess, you know? But then bam, no demos, no production. You know, she conveniently left her kid at the office and then said, hey, can you turn that for me? I'm done. So make sure you launch into activity. I think a big part of shaping expectations as well, and this is all under the banner, by the way, of building what's called a fast start culture program, shaping expectations. They know nothing until you tell them these things. So get them thinking big but realistic at the same time. You know, and a lot of this I heard from Drew. A lot of managers would be like, anybody can go out there and sell 25,000 in their fast start. And then they go into their first weekend, they sell like 600, they're like, man, I suck at life. You know, so make sure that the right people you're really targeting, everybody else, make sure you keep it on a level playing field, you know? Like, doing 3,000 in your fast start is not bad. Especially for them. That's $400 they made in their first 10 days on the job, and they doubled their pay. If I was 18, 19 years old, I'd be excited about that. That's like a month's worth of work at any other part-time job. So if their goal is 3,000, whatever, help them get to 3,000. You know, chances are if they really work and do the things you tell them and they follow it, they're going to do more than 3,000. I think better to under-promise, over-deliver, right? Because then they're like, man, what if I really went for it? You know what I mean? So, manager attitude. Okay, this next kind of point here is still under all fast start. Have fun. I know we hear that a lot, but sometimes, guys, if you go